Visit tcgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your first purchase with TCG Center 5 code. How's it going, guys? Once again, welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. In today's video, we'll be looking at a deck for the standard format, and this is one pretty cool budget build that you can actually make. This is a Toxicroak, Toxapex, and Octillery deck featuring Ariados and Oranguru. So, first thing, what's special about this deck? Of course, Poison Enzyme ability, which says you can simply prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from your opponent poison Pokemons. And on the other side, with the Toxapex in play, we can simply force our opponent, new active Pokemon, to be poisoned if he decides to retreat his old active Pokemon. Also, with the Ariados Poisonous Nest, I can put the poison on both active Pokemons, my Toxicroak and my opponent Pokemon, so he can't attack my Toxicroak. With Octillery and Oranguru, I can instruct and Abyssal Hand for up to 3 or up to 5 cards in my hand. Overall, 19 Pokemon, 33 trainer cards, and only 8 energies means 60 cards as usual in total. So Toxicroak is going to be the main and only attacker in this deck. From the item cards, I decide to go with 2 copies of Level Ball, so basically with the Level Ball, I can search my deck for any 90 or less HP Pokemon and put it into my hand. I also run 2 copies of Timer Balls because this deck runs a lot of evolutions, so basically with the Timer Ball you can use the advantage of easier setup, and of course 4 Ultra Balls, so I can discard a couple cards from my hand in order to play Ultra Ball and take from my deck any Pokemon. Ultra Ball is good because you can thin out your hand, discarding trainer cards like supporter cards and simply using the advantage of the Abyssal Hand and instruct to draw more viable cards that you need at that moment. 1 special charge for special energy recycle, and 2 super roads for recycling back up to 3 basic energies or Pokemon from my discard pile in any combination you really like. 3 copies of Trainers Mails, of course, 4 copies of Seeker, and only 1 stadium. In this situation, I decide to go with the Silent Lab, and I think the Silent Lab is pretty cool and pretty good stadium for this deck. Supporter line. 1 copy of Lysandre, 3 copies of N, and 4 copies of Professor Sycamore. Decided to go with 3 Ns just because I don't have Shames for the easy setup. Also, 4 Ns might not be that bad, but there is no space for the 4th one because I also decided to run 1 Teammates and 1 Wally. Wally is good because you can have turn 1 Toxicroak, you can have Ariados, you can have Toxapex or Octillery. Any of these 2 Pokemon can be rapidly evolved with the Wally, but also in the late game, Wally can help a lot. Decided also to go with 2 copies of XP shares because after I lose my active Toxicroak, I can just simply use the advantage of the XP share and attach 1 basic energy to the benched Toxicroak with the XP share, and attaching manually strong energy from my hand can actually provide me another poison jab for 70 without too many problems. Also 2 copies of Float Stone for the free retreat to all of my Pokemons in play, especially for the Oranguru, Octillery, or Toxapex, but overall all of these Pokemons have 2 or more retreat costs, so that's pretty must-need card in deck. 8 energies, 4 of them are going to be strong, and 4 of them are going to be just a regular basic fighting energy cards. If you're looking for any of these cards, as always, you can find them on tcgcastle.com with TCG Center 5 code. You can also get 5% discount on your purchase, so you can find the link in my video description just in case if you're looking for any of these cards. Make sure to check also that trade bulk. If you have bulk common and uncommon cards, you can simply trade them for 1 sealed booster box, but you can also trade any kind of the bulk except for the basic energy cards, so you can find all instructions in my video description. So let's do some game tests so you can actually see this deck in action, so see you in the game. Alright, so my opponent turn. Let's take a look at the opening hand. Well, there is 1 Croagunk, there is a Teammates, Trainers Mail, 2 energies, Seeker, and nothing else in my hand. So no basic Pokemon for my opponent. He plays Primal Groudon EX. Alright, this is gonna be very, very interesting match to watch. So, top deck, another Trainers Mail, kinda like that, but I don't like Wobbuffet at all. This literally means as long as Wobbuffet is in my opponent's active position, I simply cannot use my abilities. So I cannot use my Instruct, I cannot use my Abyssal Hand, so I simply can't draw more cards. The good thing is that my Toxapex is Psychic Pokemon and I can simply use advantage of him. So one Trainer's Mail just for a N. It's gonna be N just because right now my hand looks pretty bad. Trainer's Mail number 2 is gonna be for something like Ultra Ball. Let's go with one Strong Energy attachment, one Ultra Ball for one Teammates and one Fighting Energy. So I can put onto my bench something like Mareanie, whatever you want to call it, and I'm gonna play one N. There's gonna be a Silent Lab, which means I can use Silent Lab right now and put it into play. But let's just wait for a moment. If offending Pokemon is poisoned, put 3 more damage counters on that Pokemon between turns. This effect can be applied more than once. Yeah, he's not poisoned, so that's not gonna be damage counters to my opponent Wobbuffet. Decided not yet to play my Silent Lab in play just because I might top deck Oranguru, so I can simply use the Lysandre, put my Toxicroak in play, Oranguru, maybe Instruct for 1, but you know, that's... Oh, I knew there was gonna be Enhanced Hammer, so I was doubting about maybe attaching just a regular Basic Energy or Strong Energy. Decided to go with the Strong Energy just because I want to apply 90 damage instead of the 70. Right now it's actually gonna cost me a lot. That energy disruption was a huge for my opponent, but okay, I'm gonna recover pretty quick from that. One Ultra Ball, and guess what, it's gonna be for Ariados and for another energy card. This time it's gonna be for a Remoraid. And after that I'm gonna play Sycamore for 7. Alright. Couple good cards at this moment in my hand, so I just need something like Ariados, so Spinarak needs to be put it down to the bench, and I can even put another Croagunk in play. So that's it. Right now I'm fully equipped, 5 Pokemons on my bench, 1 Toxicroak, 2 Croagunks, another Strong Energy attached to my opponent, and Groudon EX, but yeah, if he switch or retreat his Wobbuffet, as long as I have... Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna discard 1 Croagunk, and... I'm also gonna discard Spinarak in this situation. That Pearl City was a huge again. It disrupted me a lot, but never mind. I'm gonna recover from that. You shall see that. Let's go with the... Oh no, no Abyssal Hand. Sycamore for 7. Okay, so how many energies I have? Only 1 Strong Energy in my discard pile. I'm gonna use Poison Jab, which is gonna be for 70. And Wobbuffet is also poisoned. Poison is not the big factor for the Wobbuffet because Wobbuffet will not be able to attack anyway. If I can find Silent Lab, I can simply shut down his Bite Barricade, and I can use the advantage of my Abyssal Hand, of course. So another N. 6 new cards for me. There is no sign of the stadium, but there's just 1 Float Stone and the second Wobbuffet for my opponent. He just decided to pass the turn. I'm gonna play my Trainer's Mail. Let's see what I can find with the Trainer's Mail. And just a V-Seeker. Just another V-Seeker. Well, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be another Float Stone for my Octillery, and I'm gonna use just a Poison Jab. I'm knocking out his Wobbuffet, which means he can simply right now promote his Primal Groudon in play and strike for tons of damage, which is going to be the best thing he can do. He don't even need to discard that Stadium from play. So that was not a good decision on the other side if you want to take it closer. But I have Secret Weapon in my hand, which is a Lysandre, so I really want to Lysandre his Groudon. and in that situation simply prevent him from maybe doing more knockouts to my Pokemons in play. I could just stay and wait until he decides to switch. But there we go, 240, and he decided to discard a Stadium from play. That's interesting. Alright, so right now I have enough time to set up my Spinarak. And of course Ariados. First I'm gonna play Lysandre. Then I'm gonna play Ultra Ball. And of course I'm gonna grab one Spinarak on the bench. Since I have Octillery in the active spot, I can just use a Beazle Hand to draw a couple cards, top deck Strong Energy, that's perfect. I can retreat down to my Toxicroak, and I can start to use my Poison Jab, which is going to be for 70, and will there be a poison? Nope. Alright, so 7 damage counters, and there's just Olympia. So he switched, he didn't retreat, and Gaia Volcano is going to be more than enough for the knockout. Time for Octillery one more time. And what a nice top deck. That's a Oranguru. Let's see how many hands I can find on that Timer Ball, one of them, so more than enough to take that Ariados and put it into play. I'm gonna play my Seeker for the teammates, but so far I'm just looking forward to play a Beazle Hand, drop 2 cards, maybe find Croagunk, so I can simply, nope, no sign of the Croagunk. Let it be teammates. Alright, so 1 Poisonous Nest. One retreat down to my Oranguru. And I'm passing my turn. So, what is the next step for my opponent? Can he maybe get a Lysandre so he can, yeah, there's a Lysandre in his hand, so he can simply max out my Croagunk. Down to 3 prize cards. Not good, not good at all. So I'm going to play my N in this situation. I'm going to play my N. I'm also gonna play, just N. Let's see, I need to put my opponent down to 3 cards, but I also need to take my Croagunk in play. I also need to play my Super Rod because I'm desperately searching for my resources in this situation, so let's just recycle 2 more Croagunk and 1 Toxicroak. Also plenty of energy cards are discarded, so I'm also gonna search my deck for some energies. There we go, there is 1 energy which is very important in this situation, and of course I'm gonna retreat down to my Mareanie and pass my turn. Okay, will there be maybe another V-Seeker for knockout? Or even better, a V-Seeker and Float Stone, so he can simply use the advantage of the Olympia. Nope, there we go with the N. Of course, Float Stone switch can still work for my opponent. I managed to get a pretty cool card, which is a Special Charge, so there's another Gaia Volcano, and it's going to be for 140. So time for Octillery in the active position. Time for my Special Charge. It's also time to play my Ultra Ball. For another Croagunk. Guess what? I can play my Wally. First I'm gonna use my Instruct because I'm searching for Strong Energy. And I managed to find one. And after that, I play 2 V-Seekers. I don't need Wally so far. in play, but tell you what, I don't want to take a risk that my opponent can maybe somehow perform that knockout with the Lysandre. So let's just put another Toxicroak in play. And that's gonna be 1 Poison Jab for 70, and 10 more from Poison, which means it's 80. I still need like 2 turns for the knockout. If he can somehow find maybe even Pokemon Center Lady, this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good. So he just decided to Mega Evolve. Speaking about Mega Evolve, I'm gonna strike with my Abyssal Hand for a couple cards because I simply desperately need 1 more energy to be attached to my another Toxicroak, and I need to use my Poison Jab. So 210, 220, 230, he can try to switch, but then he's gonna be poisoned. Alright. Oh, there's a Float Stone. Will there be maybe a V-Seeker for Olympia? Let's just wait and see. Nope. Another Strong Energy as a top deck for me. That's perfect. So I'm gonna go with my Poison Jab, and of course this is gonna be more than enough for the knockout. I'm also taking 2 prize cards, which is gonna be XP Share and a Level Ball. Okay. So, 1 energy and my Toxicroak is knocked out. And there we go, there's a energy card. Gaia Volcano for 120. And I have a last card in my hand. I hope it's something like a V-Seeker, and no it's not. So let's just play that N. I'm putting my opponent literally to 1 card. I have 3 more turns to do something big here, so I'm just going to use my Poisonous Nest, and I'm striking for 100 per turn, which means I'm gonna have 3 turns to knock out my opponent Primal Groudon in this situation. So, can he somehow recover from that? Maybe taking a V-Seeker as a top deck and Lysandre one of my benched Pokemon for the victory. We shall see. He have 2 more turns to do something. So can he somehow recover from this situation? I don't know. I mean, V-Seeker for my opponent right now in this case is a pure victory, because even if he can't one-hit knock out anything from my bench, he can simply Lysandre and let me just pass the turns until I manage the deck out. Alright, another Wobbuffet, and that's probably gonna be it. Oh, there's a switch, and that's a GG. But interesting thing that he decided do that, so yeah. Unfortunately, that's it. Unfortunately, that's it. Because I can just use my Poisonous Nest, of course, and I can simply go with my Poison Jab. Striking for 90, applying pressure from the poison for 10. At the beginning of my opponent next turn, his Wobbuffet is going to be knocked out if he can't switch. So I might still pull something out here, but I don't know. I have only 2 cards left. If there was a V-Seeker right now from that prize cards, then I would go for the knockout and victory. But it was not. So again, I can just use my Poisonous Nest. Knocks out my opponent Wobbuffet at the beginning of his turn. So still, for me, 2 cards in my discard pile. One of them is going to be victory. If it's going to be Lysandre, I mean V-Seeker. So I have 50-50 chance to win this matchup, same as my opponent, if he can right now pull just a switch and switch down to his bench for the victory. Very close battle, very close battle. Can I somehow get the victory here? We shall see. Okay, so 50% chance to take a V-Seeker, and it's a V-Seeker for victory. So I'm gonna Lysandre his Carbing, but he still can switch just by paying 1 energy cost. I can even simply play a V-Seeker for N. Right now I have multiple options. He decided to go with the Primal Groudon in the active position. Alright, if he decided to do that, he had plenty of cards sitting in his hand. So for me the best thing is just to apply Poison. $90, $100, $110, he can switch with 1 energy, he have Float Stone, so he can just escape from that position. The only thing I can do is simply play V-Seeker for N. Again, end my opponent down to 1 and see what he can do from that point. I'm gonna have like maybe 2 more turns to do something out, but Poison will probably Poison probably gonna kill my Toxicroak in this situation. So I'm down to 7 damage counters, he's down to 200, and this is just insane. If he decides to switch, his new active Pokemon is gonna be poisoned, and that's literally gonna be it. Now there's a Hex Maniac, so he managed to top deck Hex Maniac for the victory, and there we go with Gaia Volcano for 220, which is gonna be knockout in pure fashion, but that matchup was just insane. That matchup was just insane. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I mean, yeah, probably I shouldn't knock out his Wobbuffet earlier in the game. I should just set up more Pokemons on my bench and let my opponent just to switch his Wobbuffet or actually retreat. But anyway, switch and Olympia helps a lot against this deck. So unfortunately, as long as you can just simply use any of these 2 cards, you can grab victory. But I was very close, very close, and that end was pretty close. V-Seeker for N was big deal. If there was no, for example, Mega Groudon in my opponent hand to Mega Evolve his Groudon on the bench, I could probably maybe draw something out, or if there was no, for example, Carbing, I should probably win the game, but what would be if there would be. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave comments below. So yeah, till the next time, as usual, have a nice day wherever you are. See you in the next video, and goodbye.